North Lee Highway in Cleveland, next to Don Ledford Automotive, Discovery Outlet, where smart shoppers save.
Well, as you can tell, Bridget got me there once again. Yeah, Discovery Outlet, the sponsor of this weather forecast. Right now, your current Vascular Institute temperature standing at 73 degrees. Well, now it's time to turn our attention as we talk to our friends from Lee University. We're going to talk to you about some very special events coming up over the next few days there on the campus of Lee University. Joining us this afternoon is Vice President of University Relations, Dr. Brad Moffitt is here, and the Director of Alumni Relations, Dr. Susan Ashcraft, is here with us as well. Good afternoon, guys. How are y'all doing?
We're doing great.
We are wonderful.
All right, glad to see you guys. Now, you can adjust that mic there, Susan, any way you want to. That's probably
Okay.
from the last guest there. I know, first of all, we've got some big things coming up, and I believe it actually starts tomorrow. Is that right?
It absolutely does. It's Lee Homecoming 2020. And our events start tomorrow with a huge student celebration on campus. We're going to start in chapel and kind of get the ball rolling for the weekend of events.
All right, so it's called Forever Aflame. That begins on Friday night, then runs through Sunday the 15th. Dr. Moffitt, tell us a bit about some of the activities going on there.
Sure. First of all, Dwayne, let me just say this to all of our women and men who have served in the armed forces and currently serving. Happy Veterans Day. Those of us at Lee University are thankful for your service and your sacrifice, and we hope that you feel honored today. This weekend is going to be a great weekend full of lots of virtual events, and we're excited to present this homecoming in this manner. And we kick it off actually Friday morning with a leadership summit, and Susan will talk a little bit about that in a second. And then Friday evening is our first virtual broadcast event called Forever Flame, and it's going to feature some musical performances from the Lee University Symphonic Band, evangelistic singers, the Lee Singers, and the Ladies of Lee, as well as some interviews with some alums. And it's also going to feature the launch of our new 1918 Society, the brand new Lee University Alumni Association. So that'll happen on Friday night, and then on Saturday morning we've got a couple of really great events. One is the History of Lee Presidents, hosted by Lewis Morgan, the Director of Library Services at Lee. And that'll be very interesting for those people who have a long history with Lee and have seen Lee evolve over the last 100 years. And then after that, we've got a really special program called The Living Legends, and it's an interview with Paul Kahn and Lamar Vest, hosted by Dr. Mark Walker, the current president. And it is really an outstanding 40-minute segment of lots of stories, lots of laughter, and just telling sort of a behind-the-scenes tale from the office of the president. So it's really great. And then on Saturday afternoon, we have a segment called We Are Lee, and we're going to focus on some sports highlights. We're going to honor Coach Andrea Hudson in her 30th year as the volleyball coach at Lee. And it will also feature the awards for Distinguished and Honorary Alumnus of the Year. So we're excited about both of those things.
Dr. Susan, it sounds like a busy weekend.
It is. It's packed full of goodies for our alums, for sure. We're most excited about our Fan the Flame Leadership Summit, which we are offering for the first time on Friday morning as a part of our homecoming schedule. And this summit is actually an opportunity for Lee alums and Lee alums in the Cleveland community to take part in a seminar on leadership that focuses on 8 different career areas or professional areas, including ministry, nonprofit, business, healthcare, the arts, social services, government. So we got a lot going on there. And then we have some wonderful speakers. For example, we've got some Lee alums who have been very successful here in the Cleveland community, like Tammy Johnson, who's the executive director at Habitat for Humanity. She's going to be speaking as a part of the nonprofit track. But then we also have Tennessee Secretary of State Trey Hargett that's going to be speaking as a part of the government track. So it's going to be a really wonderful event for our alums and then also for the Cleveland community. So you can register. Can I tell you registration information?
Sure, go right ahead.
Yeah, okay, so you can visit our website, leeusociety.com, to register for homecoming and then all the different events that we have talked about here today, and especially the Leadership Summit. There is a small cost for that summit, $25, but I think that it's a huge payoff for a small amount of money, for sure.
Absolutely. With that lineup of guest speakers there, that's going to be a great event for the Lee alum to come out and be a part of. We'll come back over to Dr. Brad Moffitt. He's here as well. Brad, whenever you think about what goes on in this community, Lee University is always a part of it. You know, and when you think about the alumni coming back and then been able to see how the community has grown over the last couple of years. I know we're usually there with you guys on this event. I've had the opportunity to be there and host it several times on the Ped Mall with different folks, and it's amazing how people come back, and some people come back every single year. Some people can't. They come back every 5-10 years, but it's amazing when they come back to see the transition, not only of Cleveland, but the campus there at Lee University.
Yeah, I agree, Dwayne. I think Lee's growth mirrors Cleveland's growth in many ways. I was an undergraduate at Lee in the late 80s, and I can remember in the late 80s there wasn't a Mexican restaurant in Cleveland, and now there's
several.
There's several choices I have. The industry has grown in this area, and in many ways I really believe that Lee's growth mirrors that of Cleveland's. And Cleveland is such a wonderful community that we have many students who come to Lee. They spend 4 years earning a degree. They get a job in this community, and they end up making this their home. There are literally thousands of Lee alums who call Cleveland and Bradley County home. And so not only do we find ourselves geographically situated in the downtown historic neighborhoods of Cleveland, Tennessee, but in many ways, the people of Cleveland are people of Lee. And we love to say this slogan a lot. We are Lee, we are Cleveland.
Right.
And we really believe that.
You know, I know this is not really a recruiting time, but to me it almost feels like it could be a recruiting time when you get this many alum on campus and things like that. If people around the community, especially this time of the afternoon, you got a lot of parents in cars with maybe juniors and seniors in local high schools, what would you say to them if they're still kind of teetering maybe where their next step of their education is going to be, to maybe come and look at Lee?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say the first thing I would do is to call Phil Cook's office in enrollment and to make an appointment to come over there and to take a tour and to spend a couple of hours with one of our admissions counselors and to just walk around the place, to get a feel for what's going over there, and to bring all of your questions. What I believe has happened over the last 34 years is we've assembled a world-class faculty who are at the top of their game, who love students and care more about student progress than they do about anything else. We're a teaching-centered institution. We're not a research-centered institution, so students have the highest value of our faculty. And I would just encourage anybody to come over there and meet with Phil Cook and his whole team and let them give you a tour, and they'd be happy to answer any questions that you have, and just come and experience what we've got going on. Throughout the year, we host these events called Frontlines as well, and that's a great time for families to come together with other families and sort of get the energy and the vibe of Lee and get all of their questions answered and to get a tour and to meet faculty. So I would just encourage anybody to just come visit us. Come spend a couple hours with us at Lee. We'd love to have you.
And maybe someday they'll be returning for Lee Homecoming, and hopefully maybe this time next year it's not a virtual event. We'll be back on the campus there.
We pray so.
Dr. Ashcraft, kind of tell me, what is some of your favorite things? I know you mentioned the lineup there, but as far as homecoming at Lee, what are some of your favorite things you always look forward to there?
I love reconnecting with alums from all over the country, and I love our athletic program. I love the basketball games, the Lady Flames and the Men Flames, and so we've tried to, those highlights, even the things that I really love, we've tried to put into this virtual program. So the things that alums have come to love and look forward to as a part of homecoming, they're going to be included in this virtual package.
Again, we do encourage people to go ahead and register for homecoming. They can do that for the Leadership Summit. More information about that, we'll give you the directions how you can do that before we go off of this interview. We'll come back over to Dr. Brad Moffitt as well. Same question to you. What are some of the things you look forward to on this homecoming weekend?
I think Susan nailed it on the head for me. It's reconnecting with people. You know, we have this collective Lee experience, and it may span generations and decades, but in as many ways as Lee has changed and grown and evolved, there are that many ways that it has stayed the same. And so the Lee experience just brings people together. So I look forward to seeing people. I hope that we can have some real-time interaction even in this virtual format where we are reconnecting with each other. And then for me, I spent 14 years as a faculty member in the School of Music, and music is so important to the Lee brand. And so I always look forward to the music festival and the opportunity to hear all of our wonderful ensembles and soloists perform. So that's one of the highlights for me.
Now, I'm going to ask both of y'all, this is kind of be a personal question that you can answer just based on what your answer is going to be for this. When we talk about homecoming there for Lee University, what name sticks out to you as one of those people like, this person is a Lee alum? A lot of people may not know it. That's one of those people that sticks out in your mind there. I asked both of y'all that question. Give me just a personal thing that you like, this person really meant a lot to me in my life, or this person is a famous person that some people may not know it's a Lee alum.
Well, he's Lee famous, but Tony from Philly is somebody that a lot of people in Cleveland would know as a Lee alum. And
Tony from Philly.
I think he's been to every homecoming since he graduated.
Wow.
So I hope he'll log in. I think for me, I look at the people who have influenced me the most in my life, and these are people that we would call Church of God famous, for sure.
Okay.
But Susan's father, Delton Alford, is a Lee alum and has, for many decades, had an influence and a hand in the life of Lee. And then obviously Dr. and Mrs. Kahn are just iconic Lee figures, not just from their presidency, but all the way back when they were students. And so I think those are names that pop out in my mind.
Susan, how about you?
You stole mine, but that's okay. One alum we're real proud of is Kevin Brooks, who's the mayor. So not everybody might know that he is a Lee alum, but he's doing wonderful work here in Cleveland and for this community, and we're super proud to call him one of ours.
Now, Brad, I kind of reeled you in on this a little bit. I was thinking you was going to take a jab at Steve since he was a Lee alum. That's kind of where I was heading with that.
He was. You caught me off guard. We are not only thankful that Steve's an alum, but we're very proud of the work that he does in the community and the way he brings a smile to everybody's face. So when he walks in a room, he brings a smile to everybody's face, and he's never met a stranger, and that's a wonderful thing.
Can you give me a Steve story? Anything come to mind that you guys could maybe on the air tell us about Steve and his glory days?
I don't think I've got a story to tell about Steve.
This may not be a safe place to say that story. Just kidding.
Well, maybe when the mics go off, we can talk about that. But yeah, it's going to be a good time, folks. Lee Homecoming coming up this weekend. Of course, it starts off tomorrow and with the alumni chapel service, alumni-led chapel service there. So, Susan, give us the details one more time how people can be a part of this.
Yes, please visit our website, leusociety.com. Homecoming registration is free. It is free.
I like
Homecoming
that commercial.
registration is free. There is a small fee for certain events like the summit, but other than that, everything you can log into and watch. And just come home. I guess that's what we're really trying to say.
Yeah.
Come home, even though it's in a virtual format.
You know, we've kind of gotten used to the word virtual and the word fluid. And so I think this is probably going to be a virtual event that's going to be very fluid.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right.
Yes.
Anything else, guys, before we go?
Yeah, I just want to encourage community members, even if you're not an alum, you may enjoy some of the broadcasts. They will all be on Facebook Live, so the Lee University Facebook Live page. All of these will be broadcast, and then they will live there in archive as well. And they'll also be available on the Lee University live streaming site, leeuniversity.edu, and you can click onto the video live stream there, and you can watch all of these broadcasts will be there for free.
Thanks so much, guys, for coming in. And you nailed it on the head there a while ago, Dr. Moffitt. You said a lot of people come to this community going to Lee, and then if you go around town and you kind of ask around people that's in leadership positions, people that are business owners, small business owners, doesn't matter, you'll say, hey, what brought you here? What brought you from Philadelphia?
Right.
You know, when you were younger to this community, there's always that connection back. Well, I came to Lee, loved it, and then I decided to stay. So I know homecoming is a very special time for those people and for us in this community as well.
We live in a great place.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much, guys, for coming in and giving us the information. Lee Homecoming, make sure you're part of it this upcoming weekend. All right, time to get to the music right now. It's Demi Lovato on Mix 104.1.